We have Secretary of State Michael Adams here with us on the Noon after one of the bigger days of the year for him. Yesterday's primary, would you call it quiet in more ways than one? No major issues, right?
It was quiet in a good way.
Yeah.
I think my phone rang the fewest times with issues. It was very smooth for everybody. Great job, all the county clerks. There wasn't a big marquee race to drag people out. It was a pretty sleepy race. So we hit 13% turnout, but not too shabby. And
when we talk about the 13%, about half of that came from early voting, would you say?
It wasn't quite half, but every year that we've had early voting, the use of it gets bigger. And that's important to me because I don't want to see our legislature repeal early voting. I think it's important for them to see that early voting is catching on, it's popular. And actually, most early voters were Republicans. And the last thing that the Republicans in Frankfort should do is take away those voting days.
Yeah. When you talk about just people in general, whether or not they chose to go to the primary, you kind of mentioned a lower turnout, just not too many names. What would you say the most popular one in recent years has been for a primary?
Well, we had 29% turnout in 2020. That was a unique election, as we all recall. But there was a very hotly contested primary for U.S. Senate between Amy McGrath and Charles Booker. That really juiced the turnout. But normally in Kentucky, the primaries tend to be 10 to 15%. They were the last 2 years as well.
So that one was well more than double.
That's exactly right.
Now, did I hear a few more thousand came in on the early voting side this year?
Yeah, and I'm pleased to see that. I know personally how great a convenience it is to have more voting days. My wife, it was off Saturday, she got to go vote. My daughter was out of school Saturday, she got to go vote. So it makes a real difference for Kentuckians.
And the no excuse part, right? You don't have to actually be out of town. You can just be down the street and want to do it today than tomorrow.
Bingo.
Okay. Looking ahead, obviously November's election, much bigger deal for you and for the state in general. When do things start ramping up for you again? Do you get a little
today.
bit of summer?
Yeah. So a general election for president is just a different animal.
Yeah.
There are people, I'm not one of them, but there are people who ignore politics for 3.5 years and then suddenly care a lot and go vote. And they don't know what's been going on in those 3.5 years, but they pay attention now, and they come out of the woodwork. So I expect 4 times as many people to vote in November as just voted in this election. So we're going to have all our locations open and poll workers.
So what does tomorrow look like for you then?
So we're still certifying the election that we just completed, but we're also recruiting poll workers. And so anyone who wants to volunteer, come to our website, govote.ky.gov, and volunteer to be a poll worker.
All right, that's always a good day. We're always here working it, but I always admire the people that are working those shifts too. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure it won't be too long before we talk to you again.
Hope so.
Definitely before November.